Hi, welcome to the channel. Today is the first day of ninth chapter, that is hustling, the gentle art of self-promotion. Advertising is like sex, only losers pay for it. 120 miles from Boston in rural New Hampshire, hundreds of artists and art lovers gather twice a year for communal experience before coming to the area. Many of them connect online, arranging car share services and planning meetups. After settling into lakeside cottages, they learn from professionals and spend time with one another, old friends and new friends alike. It all started 5 years ago when Elizabeth McCrelish was feeling isolated from other artists and wanted to create more for a sense of community in her rural area. I invited my friends to join me for a weekend gathering centered on the arts. She explained. She planned for a few dozen people, but 135 showed up, mostly from the West Coast, far from the small New England group she had expected. Thus was born Scram Art Workshops, named after a lake in central New Hampshire. After that initial gathering, Elizabeth repeated the experience first on an annual basis and then twice a year. The audience is one third professional artists and two-thirds regular people with day jobs who enjoy arts and crafts as a hobby. Hundreds of people now come to each sold out gathering. As the workshops grew, Elizabeth pulled back to regroup. She did no traditional advertising of any kind, but more people kept signing up strictly through word of mouth. In the third year of Scam, Elizabeth added an extra session in a new location and ended up regretting it. She was tried and decided to spend the next year dialing back and taking stock. She was initially reluctant about speaking to me for this book, but warmed up after I promised to write about the importance of community and relationships in her work. To register for a SCRAM, attendees have to mail in their payment and information. This old school system is one way that Elizabeth maintains a close connection with her tribe. She also carefully assigns people to specific cottages to ensure that newcomers are welcomed and plays whack a mole in delicately preventing clicks from forming. Invitations to take the Scram show on the road have arrived from the United Kingdom, Australia, and a dozen cities in North America. She always declines. I'm not a business person, she says. I just do what feels right, and it keeps getting more interesting. Elizabeth isn't against capitalism, but she wants to be sure that the growth of her business happens in a way that is comfortable with for her. Midway through one of our phone calls, she likened her business model to the Amish, talking about a time where she visited a New England farmers market. Self reliance is a core value in most Amish communities, and nearly every participates in commerce one way or another, but there is very little actual salesmanship. The molasses, cookies, and apple strudel sell themselves. Even for high ticket items, prices are non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Take it or leave it. Elizabeth began the workshops as a personal project that grew into a sustainable business. I never set out to build something more than a structured encounter with friends, she says. 5 years later, managing Scam and making sure it grows in the right way is Elizabeth's full time work. After the initial success, at least 8 different workshops offering similar orators sprang up elsewhere, many of which were founded by previous attendees who sought to replicate the event in their own way. It didn't matter, though the original scam was the experience you just had to have for yourself. What is hustling? This chapter is all about hustling or how to get the word out about a project. What does hustling mean? There are a few ways to look at it, but I like the approach in this chapter by Joey Roth. Talk, charlatan, martyr, hustler. The distinction between the three icons represents the difference and the likely success or lack of success of a person or business hoping to promote something for sale. A charlatan is all talk with nothing to keep up their claims. A martyr is all action with plenty of good work to talk about, but remains unable or unwilling to do the talking. A hustler represents the ideal combination, work and talk fused together. Being willing to promote in an authentic, non sleazy manner is a core attribute of micro business success. As Elizabeth's story illustrates, sometimes the best hustling lies in creating a great offer and getting people to talk about it. In other cases, you want to have as many of the right kind of customers as possible, so there's nothing wrong with putting yourself forward. In many work, the hustler image on the right is pretty much what I try to do of every day as a writer and entrepreneur. Lots of creating and lots of connecting. The connecting, that is the talk, isn't always directly related to the work at hand. Sometimes I am supporting other people with their hustling, but on a good day, there's plenty of creating and plenty of connecting. Another way to look at it is style without substance, flash. Also, no one respect these people. Substance without style, unknown. Everyone who knows these people respect them, but not many people know them. Style with substance, impact. This is the goal. When you are first getting started with a project, how do you go from martyr to hustler? It's simple. First, first things first. Take the time to make something worth talking about. Don't be charlatan, but then start with everyone you know and ask for their help. Make a list of at least 50 people and divide them into categories: colleagues from a former job, colleagues, friends, acquaintances, etc. as soon as the project is good to go, at least in beta form. Touch base by sending them a quick note. Here's a simple message. Hi, name. I wanted to quickly let you know about a new project I am working on. It's called name of the business or project, and the goal is to main benefit. We hope to big goal improvement or idea. Don't worry, I haven't added you to any list and I won't be spamming you. But if you like the idea and would like to help out, here's what you can do. Action 1, Action 2. Thanks again for your time. Note that you are not sending mass messages or sharing anyone's private into with the word. Each message is personal, although the content is largely the same. You are also not selling anyone on the project. You are just letting people know what you are up to and inviting them to participate further if they would like to. The action point can vary, but they should probably relate to joining a contact list. This way, you have their permission to touch base with them further and letting other people know about the project. The next step is to incorporate hustling into your ongoing regular work. If if you build it, they might come. It might happen by magic, but you will probably have to tell them about it. Even with Elizabeth McCrelish's low-key Amish selling model, she still began her summer workshops by recruiting friends and supporters. This is where hustling comes in. If half the work is building the house and the other half is selling it, here's how a few other people sold it. We spent no money on advertising for the first 5 months we were open. Instead, we decided to allocate more than half of our opening cost to have a 30 by 50-foot mural of a bright and colorful tree pointed on the side of the stand-alone brick building we were in. That speaks way louder than any ad have we could ever place. Karen Store Hazel Tree Interiors. When I launched my membership program, I decided to start with some beta testers. I invited 100 of my top prospects to try it out for the first 2 months before I opened membership. But I didn't send them an email invite. Instead, I sent a hostage letter in a brown paper bag, folded and tapped. People really got a kick out of it, and it worked. The letter led to a sales page with a personal video invite from me, Alice, Illusion Stanfield, Heartbeat's coach. We initially imagined a community of thousands of our triathlon and Ironman distance training programs. In reality, fewer members meant deeper roots and a much more powerful experience for everyone. Unlike most programs, which try to keep pushing the price higher, we reward our members by decreasing the price the longer they remain in the program. This is because we recognize that the more experience they have, the more they can help other members, and the more active they are recruiting new members to join as well. Patrick McRyan in Endurance Nation. First thing first, what do you have to say? I was sitting in a large conference room with my friend Jonathan Fields, also mentioned in chapter 7. Jonathan is an ex lawyer turned serial entrepreneur and author. Several presenters were having a group discussion on building a tribe of followers, and someone in the room asked a question about writing a book. What's the first step? One of the speakers gave a list of 4 or 5 ideas, and then at the end, he said, "Oh, when you plan to write a book, you should also think about what you have to say." Jonathan and I looked at each other with the same thought. Oh, isn't that the first step? Getting the message out about your business is like writing a book. Before you do anything else, think about what you have to say. What's the message? Why it is important now, and why will people want to know about it? Okay, we will start uh, the strategic giving marketing plan in the next session. If you are new on the channel, subscribe the channel and press bell icon so that you will get notification about new video upload. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much.